Are you interested in becoming an ME and want to know if it's worth the wait in the Coast Guard? Well, in this series of interviews, I interview my friend ME1 Haines, where he explains what exactly an ME does, what type of units you could end up at, what the different units are. So, like what a DSF does, what an MSRT does, MIST, tacklet, all these different things, and also some really cool information like how to become a dog handler, what do military police officers do, some things that you guys, I'm sure that you want to know if you're interested and what exactly an ME does. So if you want to see the full interview, you can check out in the description box. I've got a playlist that'll include all the videos to this interview, and hope you guys enjoy. Till next time, guys, peace out. Thank you, everybody, for being here on this special interview. I've got ME1 Haines, Petty Officer Haines. He took the time out from his busy schedule to be able to do this interview with us. I know you guys have been asking a lot of questions about MSRTs, MSTs, tacklets, PSUs, everything about ME. Lots of people want to join the Coast Guard and become MEs. I myself, when I first wanted to join the Coast Guard, I said, ME sounds really cool. You know, I got in at 2014, and ME was still relatively new at that time. I think it'd been around for a couple years or so, and it just sounded really cool, like the missions and the stuff like that. But then when I got in, people started saying they basically do BM work. If you want to be an ME, be a BM. And I'm sure you've got some things to say about that, and we'll get into that as well. But just thank you so much. It's such an honor to be able to have you. You've got a lot of experience and wisdom to share with the community. You're kind of like the unicorn of the Coast Guard. You know, lots of people try to find out this information, and they just can't find it. So thank you for being able to take the time to be able to share with the military journeyman community.
Hey, thanks for having me. Huge fan, man. I'm really excited. I think it's great what you're doing. I think you represent an underrepresented population, which is the Coast Guard in general, but especially on YouTube and on any social media platform. So we're really alike, and I think that's really cool, man. I'm glad that you have me on.
He also has a YouTube channel, which I will link down below. He's got some really cool stuff about being on the boat. If you're following me on Instagram, Military Journeyman, you can just ask your comments, ask your questions there. Leave it in the comment section down below if you have any other questions for ME1 Haines, and I'll be sure to ask him. And you can also, I'm sure that, would you be fine if I also included your Instagram down below in case anybody wanted to ask you?
Absolutely. I was just actually answering some questions on DMs literally as we were setting this up. So
awesome, yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'll include everything in the description box below. So first question is, what exactly does an ME do?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things we do is anything a BM can do, we can do better. Now, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say that based on what you said earlier. So I think that the job of an ME, as with any rating in the Coast Guard, is very broad. I mean, it's somewhat specific, but you know, we are the jack of all trades and the master of none in the Coast Guard based on our size. But primarily, you know, over 70% of our billet structure for maritime enforcement specialists is in the DSF, the Deployable Specialized Forces, which is comprised of Maritime Security Response Team, MSRT, Maritime Safety and Security Teams, MSSTs, and Tactical Law Enforcement Teams, TACLETs, as well as PSUs, Port Security Units, and even National Strike Force. The Strike Force.
What type of unit are you at right now?
So I'm actually assigned at the Special Missions Training Center, SMTC, which is the center of excellence for the DSF and all of our tactical training, as well as for tactical boat operations, dive, and submarine, CB.
So center of excellence, that is where you're kind of honing your skills and improving for the rate as a whole?
So it's essentially primarily, again, for 70% of our rate, if you will. Anyone in the DSF will come through SMTC as a portion of their training that's required once they show up to a tacklet or the MSRTs, East or West, to attend Basic Tactical Operations Course, BTOC, and or Advanced Tactical Operations Course, ATOC, as well as a myriad of other courses that we have on board.
Okay. And just for the viewers, what other types of units have you been to?
So when I came in the Coast Guard as a non-raid, I was stationed on a 210 in St. Pete, Florida, the Resolute. and then I went to actually DCA school in Yorktown. And as a third class petty officer, I was able to go to Tacklet Pacific in San Diego, California. I was on a couple of lead-outs out there. And then from Tacklet Pacific, I went to Station New York in Staten Island, New York. And from there, I came to SMTC.
Okay, so you said you went to DCA school?
I did. So when I joined in 2007, the Emmy rating was not yet established. And, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Like you, I've always heard that BMs, they run the Coast Guard. Heard that BMs are really can do anything. But my goal was I wanted to go to a tacklet. That's why I joined the Coast Guard. I wanted to do tacklet, missed, anything. That I saw that on a Coast Guard magazine. I was like, that's me. But with DC, I saw the opportunity to go diver as well. I was actually screening to be a diver. At the time, it was a collateral duty, and I could go do diving and underwater welding and have a great job lined up if I got out. So that was for going DC. And then as a third, which is what you have to be to go to those units, I was able to go to tacklet.
Okay, so what you're saying is that other types of rates can go to tacklets?
So at the time, yes. And now there are still very few billets. And to speak certainly, I don't want to actually say how many of what rating. They are primarily MEs at the time. Since there was no ME rating, it was made up of anyone. I mean, I've worked with HSs, YNs, law enforcement detachments, as well as OSs. I mean, literally every rating we worked together. And like I said, I was a DC, and then later on I lateraled. The rating came out.
Okay, yeah. Now they actually have a dedicated diver rate, which is kind of funny that you wanted to do ME stuff, and then they make an ME rate, and then they also have a diver rate.
No, man, which is great. Talk about a small rating, though. I think they have divers. I just spoke with a lot of them. I think there's 77 divers active.
Mm-hmm.
That's
really small. And there's how many MEs would you say there are?
I'd be kind of speculating. I'd say
actually,
I'd say 1,000, man.
Yeah, I've actually got the billets pulled up right here. There's 1,200 MEs.
Man, I was close.
Yeah.
Close to that.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah, so not a lot. Again, larger ratings.